Thank you. Before I open the hearing for the Barnstable Conservation Commission, I would like to ask Angela to do a roll call for the quorum purpose.
Tagney, present. Lee,
Present?
Hearn,
Present.
Abadili,
Present.
Administrator Darcy Carley,
Present.
Staff Member King Kavanaugh.
Present.
Did Louise sign in?
Not yet.
She
Okay,
did.
we have a
Yep.
quorum.
There
She's
she
in.
is.
She's in.
Foster.
Present.
Woo. Okay, we're good.
Just make it. Acting under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and or Chapter 237 of the Code of the Town of Barnstable. The Barnstable Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, December the 3rd, 2024 at 3 p.m. for the application of Polly Barons. This hearing is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government's Access Channel. The plans and application are on file and may be viewed by scheduling appointments by sending email request to Darcy Curley at 230 South Street, Hyannis. This hearing is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government's Access Channel. In accordance with the Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20, please let the chair know if anyone is recording this hearing. Hearing none. This afternoon's hearing agenda is posted on the town's website. On the agenda, next to each application is the amount owed to the Town of Barnstable for the cost of advertisement. Please send your checks to Conservation Division at 230 South Street before the hearing. Remote participations. The Conservation Commission's public hearing will be held by remote participation as a result of an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency signed by the Governor on March 29, 2023, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law. Remote public access to this hearing should be provided in the following manner. 1. The hearing will be televised via Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via the Town of Barnstable's Government's Access Channel. 2. The real-time public comment can be addressed to the Conservation Commission utilizing the Zoom link 819-1882-1646 or use the toll-free phone number 888-475-4499 as shown on the agenda. 3rd, the public can also email the comment to darcy.curley@town.barnstable.ma.us at least 8 hours prior to the hearing. This afternoon, we have 2 items under the old and new business. The first item is the annual report for Sandy Neck. And this is an annual event, and we welcome Nina Coleman.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nina Coleman, Sandy Neck Park Manager, as well as the Natural Resource Director for the Town of Barnstable. Thank you, and happy holidays. Here we are again. We're doing my annual report as required under the 2 orders of conditions that we run under at Sandy Neck in order to provide off-road vehicle access for the public and for cottage owners as well. So I just want to start by saying that we had another extremely banner year. It's been a couple of years in a row where I would say that we're doing very, very well. And what I mean by that is our plover and terrapin populations are doing excellent. We're having record-breaking years for both of those populations. Our revenue is up. We've been able to use our habitat conservation permit through the state and federal government to provide access year-round to off-road vehicles while still protecting the plovers. So our revenue is up. Our enforcement is average, if not a little down. And so those are kind of the broad indices that I tend to evaluate at the end of the season. So yeah, thanks, Darcy. We'll start right there with plovers, but I just wanted to give that overall overview because I do talk to other park managers with off-road vehicle beaches, both on Cape and then Duxbury and Plymouth, and there's a real struggle going on to find that balance between endangered species protection and off-road recreation. And so we've been very lucky to be able to strike that balance at Sandy Neck for a number of years now. So as I mentioned, starting at the top, piping plovers are doing quite well at Sandy Neck. We had a record-breaking year with 65 pairs, which broke the record of last year of 57 pairs, which broke the record of the year before for 50 pairs. So for whatever reason, we're becoming a major sink. I'm interested to see the state population, if overall they're going up this high, but I think we really are acting as a sink because our habitat is so good. So 65 pairs, we fledged 86 chicks per pair. So that gives us a productivity rate of 1.32, which is very good. So we're happy with that. Diamondback terrapins were crazy this year. The number to look at is the 609. So again, we broke our record from the year before of 408. Those are nesting, those are nests. So 609 nests. And to put that into perspective, when I started working at Sandy Neck in 2003, gasp, we were running around 40 nests a year, and now we're at 609. So we're getting a lot of returns to our management practices. We're getting a lot of returns to our Head Start program. The other thing is, and this is just a hunch, but you know, climate change is actually helping these animals because turtles are driven by ambient temperature. We are pit tagging some of these turtles as they come up. And what we found this year is that it was warm for so long that we had females coming up and doing 2 nests, which historically we felt was not happening this far north. So we think that's why there was such a jump. It was a very warm spring. So the turtles started coming up earlier, and then some of them were able to do a second nest. So 609 nests, predation was under control. And then we had 40 turtles go to 31 organizations for our Head Start program. And at this point, we used to do 2 turtles per organization. One of those organizations is our very own Pete Sampu at Sturgis. He has turtles. We're just doing 1 turtle instead of 2. We feel like the population is doing very well, and we don't want to overdo it. But what we are seeing with the turtles is disbursement. So that's very exciting, right? That's what we're looking for. We have a population of rare turtles that we're pushing the numbers up so high that they're dispersing to other areas. So exciting news there. Terns continue to do not so well, sort of everywhere in Massachusetts. We had 143 tern nests. Thank you, Darcy. But productivity was very low, and that is driven by overwash. Really, any storm will take those out, as well as high levels of predation. The numbers we're representing here for sea turtle strandings, of course, we're in sea turtle stranding season right now. It's all over the newspapers. We're getting quite a few off our beaches on Cape Cod and on Sandy Neck. But last fall, we had 9 Kemp's Ridleys, 2 loggerheads. And that is really just a function of the wind direction, not necessarily what's going on. But I put those numbers up there so you understand that this is one of our many tasks at Sandy Neck, is to be out there in the middle of the night in the crazy storms, scooping these guys off the beach. So it's another one of those positive things that we're able to do at our park. Wetland restoration, I'm on year 25 of wetland restoration. We've been doing Phragmites. A number of other purple loosestrife is under control there. And the panicum is under control. Really and truly, the panicum is under control. The willow is an issue. So I've been using AmeriCorps to handle our rusty willow invasion, which has come in from sort of Sandy Neck Road area. So it's really most prevalent in the first section of the beach, and we've been getting after that for a number of years now. Next page. Darcy, thank you so much. Enforcement, ever since COVID, we've been able to sort of rein in some of the sort of over the top behavior at Sandy Neck. It really is starting to have this, what we call a barbecue vibe out there. That's what I like to call it. So the alcohol enforcement and warnings are little to none at this point. It's really, we reduced the curfew, which also helped during COVID. So it's less time. And it's really more of a place for families to go, folks to go, enjoy the ocean, enjoy the beautiful beach. And it's much less of a party vibe. So it's been a number of years in a row. Also working with Barnstable Police Department, our own Officer Chris Kelsey has been our liaison and has really guided us through this whole process to kind of pull back and get Sandy Neck to a place where it's extremely manageable from an enforcement perspective. So we're really happy with that. And then revenue is robust. If you would slide down a little bit. Yep. So revenue, I don't need to go through all these various numbers, but I mean, the overall picture here is that our revenue is, I was excited when it went over $1 million, and now we're at 1,345,000 and change. So what does that mean? It means all of these programs that we're invested in are funded. All the staff is funded. Our up and coming coastal resiliency project has, a strong revenue source behind it. So, it's all part of the picture of managing that beach, is to make sure our revenue continues to be strong. And we are increasing our fees this year, particularly to non-residents, because we're actually still very low compared to other off-road beaches for non-residents. So we're continuing to capitalize on that. So off-road vehicle permits sold, we're right there, kind of where we were last year, 4,365. I'm really happy with that number. It seems to sort of stable itself out. And then our camper nights is 3,376. So those are done by reservation only now since COVID. COVID actually had some positive things for us in terms of management. And so that has been very, very well controlled using a reservation system. And then, yep, Darcy can keep on scrolling. Thank you. Escorts. So these are cottage owner escorts, pass, piping plover, chicks. And we're down to 11 this year. That's excellent. We had a little blip in 2023, which was really just one family. And so we're back to 11. That's, of course, we want that number low. We want our staff busy managing people. We don't want them going up and down the beach for hours escorting. It's a function of how well the marsh trail looks and is drivable. And it's also a function of the beach running smoothly. So as we all know who lived it, this was a huge issue for many years, and access to cottage owners was a huge issue. And I think this is representing a success in that department. And then odds and ends. We've got the hunt going on right now. This is a non-deer hunt year, but our pheasant hunt is going on. We have our tent camping. We really put a lot of effort into passive recreation opportunities. Everybody wants to drive on the beach, but how can we get them out there passively and really engage in the environment? And so the tent camping is not necessarily a moneymaker, but it's definitely tent and lean-to camping is a nice passive recreational opportunity out there. Campfires, very, very popular. One of the only beaches that allow campfires with a permit is our next thing. Special permits, weddings, reunions, such things as those. We continue to support, not a money maker, but really good for the community. Horse permits, that's been really down. I think overall the Cape has less horses and less of that type of activity. We continue our walks and talks where we collaborate with Barnstable Land Trust and Mass Audubon. But we feel that's really important. There's at least one a month. We do our beach cleanups, coast sweep. Cape Cod Commission got out there. We definitely want to engage in that. Our junior ranger program. I'm starting to have junior rangers come back and work for me, which is delightful. The junior rangers for kids 9 to 11. The halfway house, we're working on trying to improve use of the halfway house, which is for environmental education. And of course, portable toilets are all over the beach, which is extremely important for the environment. So finally, just really exciting to announce that we will be starting our coastal resiliency $6.6 million project in the fall. So about a year from now, we'll be starting that groundbreaking. We're going to do it all in 1 year, move the parking lot back, move the gatehouse up, improve a bunch of things on the property. And through that process and through some of the grants we've received, we have quite a large community outreach requirement, and we are collaborating with a number of schools in getting the older kids involved with the technical piece of the project, and the younger kids involved, particularly in our environmental justice community, getting those kids out to Sandy Neck. It's really discouraging that so many of our young people haven't been to the beach and haven't been to Sandy Neck. So that's a side commitment that we have for our project coming up. So lots and lots going on in the next year. I'm excited to come back in a year and report back. But I would say overall, great year, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Lena. Any questions from the commissioner? Bill?
Yeah, when you count piping plovers or terrapins, you use a certain amount of like sampling effort or search effort or what have you.
Mhm.
And I wondered, in 2003, when you only had 41, I think it was plover, or maybe it was turtles,
Turtles.
and now you're like, what, much more? Did you have the same search/sampling effort in 2003? Or is
Not
it
2003, but by 2004, we had hired a staff member that, and that person's, we still have that position. So every year we have a staff member called a turtle monitor. So that started in 2004, and that person is dedicated to running searches.
But it's the same effort. In other words, if you spent like twice, put 4 times the number of people out for twice as much, you'd have higher numbers. It's the same amount every year.
I mean, yeah, the same effort. We have every day we do a turtle search. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Any other question from the commissioner?
Ricky?
Who, John?
Yeah. Hi, Nina. How you doing?
Hey, John. I can't even find you. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Got you.
Good to see you back. I'm just curious. I saw that there were 2 permits revoked. What's your standard for revoking a permit? There's definitely a standard. We wouldn't revoke a permit if somebody wasn't aired down or if their dog was off a leash. We would revoke their permit if they had that happen multiple times, and they weren't hearing our feedback. So we usually start with a verbal warning. We log that, but we log it on the permit number. So then we have a record, and we basically we'll be building a record on somebody to get them to the point of revocation. However, there are some things that are automatic revocation, and that would be driving under the influence, like any sort of egregious safety, being disrespectful or aggressive towards staff, automatic. But in terms of the smaller things, we build that record to the point where we usually even go to a written warning where I write a letter and be like, you're getting close to the line, right? But really, our goal is compliance and safety. Great. Thank you. Well done again. You've done an outstanding job since you joined the organization.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Any other questions from the commissioner? No? Thank you, Nina. Maybe next year we can hear the news on your coastal change in terms of the parking lot project stuff.
Super exciting. Thank you all. I appreciate all your support.
Thank you.
Bye.
The second item on the old and new business is the conservation restrictions, signing Barnstable certificate, conservation restriction and limited public access granted by GS Barnstable Landowner, LLC, care of Great Star Grantor to the town of Barnstable, a Massachusetts municipal corporations acting by and through the Barnstable Conservation Commission's grantee accepted as of November 5th, 2019, commonly known inter alia as 200 Communication Way, Barnstable, Massachusetts. I see Ryan. Ryan, do you want to say anything from Greystar?
Hello. And I think Ben Bolby from the Greystar team is on as well.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything specific to say. We Greystar is going through a sale process on the site and looking to basically get an estoppel consistent with the redevelopment agreement that happened at the time and the restrictions that were put in place. Ben, do you have anything to add?
No, that's really all we're looking for here. We're expected to transact on December 17th, and we're looking to gain the estoppel ahead of that.
Thank you. This afternoon came forward the email from Tom Barosa, our town attorney, reviewing the estoppel certificate, and he makes some minor adjustment in terms of language so that it should be fine for us to look, to approve it. Normally, this is the first time we see this estoppel certificate request. It happened, this project needs about two estoppel certificate. One is from the planning, and the town manager, Mark L, signed the one for the planning department. But we need one from the Conservation Commissions to sign off.
And just for overview, we developed the site Everly Cape Cod that's shown on the south here. The boxed area is undeveloped land, and the restrictive covenant is or conservation restriction is really for the area under the power lines that wouldn't be developed anyways. So it's really an administrative action.
Right. So with that, any question from the commissioner? No. Could I have a motion to approve these estoppel certificates as written and authorize Darcy to sign it for the commission?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Abadili.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Hearn.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
And Tangney. Aye. That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Excuse
Appreciate
me,
it.
Tom.
Yep, go ahead.
I have a question for Ryan. Are
Yep.
you good with, when I sign it, a PDF copy, or do you need us to get you the original signature? I think Tom LaRusso is going to check into that and the address you needed to go to, so.
I can follow up on that unless, Ben, you have the answer.
Yeah, I believe PDF should be fine on this. I think Christy hopped on. Can you?
If it comes up a different, if you need something else, just send me an email. So otherwise
Yeah, no,
I'll
appreciate
get
it.
this signed and send it out.
I know Brad's in contact with Tom, so we'll make sure that's all relayed.
Okay.
Thank you, Brett, and thank you, Ryan.
Thank you for your time.
We have 4 extension requests. The first one is Leonard I. Zon and Linda C. Snyder. This is 360 North Bay Road, Austinville, SE3-5942. And this is the first request. This is Sean.
Yes, good afternoon. For the record, Sean Riley with Ty and Bond representing the applicant. We're here for a 1-year request. We're doing an evaluation of the existing revetment. It's a revetment with mortar joints, and the mortar joints have disintegrated. So it's losing material behind the rocks, and it's creating sinkholes. We worked with with Darcy and Ed to fill some of those voids over the summer while we do the evaluation and get a solution permitted. But along in the short, we have mitigation that's all on that coastal bank. And if we're going to be replacing that revetment, we don't want to do it twice. So we've asked for an extension for another year to put those plantings in. We've got the slope stabilized with blankets and seating, but we still have to finish up the plantings.
Thank you. Sean, we usually give a 3 years extension. So even if you finish early, you can just request the COC or whatever.
Understood.
John.
Yeah, I was going to point out, Tom, that the agenda item is formally for a 3-year request, first request for 3 years. So the point you made is valid.
Okay. Any other question from the commissioner? None. Could I have a motion to approve the extension request?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Abadili,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Hearn,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
and Tangney, aye. That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second item is the Cape Cod Property Trust SE3-5931. And this is 1025 Old Post Road, Barnstable. And this is Matt.
Hi there. Yeah, Matt Lottenberger, Wilkinson Ecological here. We're asking for this extension because we've just planted the mitigation plants this year. And they're going to need some more time to establish before we're ready to get that certificate of compliance.
And this is the first request too. So any question from the commissioner? None. Could I have a motion to approve the extension request?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hearn,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Tangney, aye. Lee,
Aye.
Abadili.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The third extension request is Mass DOT SE3-5068. It's with 668 132 Venice Lane. And this is a second request. Andrea? Oop. No one.
When they filed this, she had asked if they needed to be present. I don't know if you remember, and we told her she did not.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you did ask for that. Yeah, because this is related to the drainage, so they need to continue to do this work here. Could I have a motion to approve this extension request?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Tangney, aye. Lee,
Aye.
Hearn,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
and Abadili.
Aye, but I would like to note for the record, Tom, that this is, a second request usually takes a little bit of explanation. So I think your explanation was important as to why a second request, I would vote in favor of it.
Yeah. This is the drainage improvement under those extensions, so they need to extend and keep improving the drainage on those highways. The next one is 265 Superior Road, Superior River, LLC SE3-5939. And the address is 265 Superior River Road, Austinville. This is the first request. John? Oop, John is not here. We usually give it, this is regarding to the maintenance stretching. So could I have a motion to approve the extension request?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Abadili,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Hearn,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
and Tangney, aye. That's unanimous.
Thank you. We have two revised plans. The first one is Wild Away Realty Trust, SE3-6126. The address is 175 Superior Road, Austinville, and some addition on the plan. Sean?
Yes, for the record, again, Sean Riley with Ty and Bond. If I could share my screen. So this project was a raise and replace. Are you able to see my screen?
Coming up. Yes.
So this was a raise and replace of a single family dwelling that was into the 0 to 50 with a workshop right on the slope adjacent to the wetland. We removed that building and shifted everything further away outside of the 50-foot buffer. We had a reduction, an overall reduction in the 0 to 100, so mitigation was not required. We did provide over 6,000 square feet to be banked of mitigation. The applicant's coming back with some modifications within mostly the 50 to 100 foot buffer. There is a small area of the mitigation that they were providing that they'd like to convert to bee boxes. They're going to be having a number of different diverse gardens, and they're being growing trees, nut trees, and chicken coop. And they also want to have a beehive. So they wanted that beehive to be down closer to the wetland area, within an area that was formerly lawn, that we had proposed as mitigation. Again, we don't have a requirement for mitigation. We still have a reduction within the 0 to 100, a complete reduction within the 0 to 50. But we are still providing 4,838 square feet of banked mitigation, which fills the entire 0 to 50 except for this path. For the beehives within the 50 to 100, we're proposing a chicken coop, a shed, composting system, a generator, and an underground propane tank. Also, as part of this, they decided to get rid of the grass strips within the pavement, which then just added that coverage back in. But again, we have an overall reduction and banked mitigation. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions you may have. Oh, and we've also added, they've added an IA technology component to their septic system that was not required, and it's actually provisional use for a new system that they're trying out to hopefully get that approved.
Thank you, Sean. What kind of IA system?
It's a clean to,
Okay.
a nitro, so
Yep.
it's under a provisional.
Okay.
But they're taking all the necessary steps to pay for all the additional testing and everything to try to get that system pushed forward for approval.
Couple of questions. The plan that you're showing to us is slightly different from the plan that we have in the applications. Is that correct?
Yeah, all I did was highlight the areas so that you could see this is the application plan. So all I did was highlight those areas where the changes were. I can give you that copy of that plan for your file.
Yeah.
But it calls out the same things. It just has essentially everything highlighted.
Yeah, but this one show more though, because in a sense the beehive is showing, but in the other plan they did not show that.
No, it should be shown on that other one. We show the path for the beehive in here on the proposed. I just called it out as so you knew what it was for.
Okay.
We can add the beehive boxes on there if you'd like.
Yeah. Question from the commissioner, Bill?
Yeah, I greatly applaud the IA system. That is a wonderful thing. However, I am concerned about a chicken coop that is going to be very close to the 50-foot buffer. Chicken coops they create a lot of nutrients, and I think to the extent that you can move it further from the 50-foot buffer, the better. You have a proposed compost system up near the 100-foot line, and I wonder if you can somehow reverse the positions of the chicken coop and the compost system. I'm concerned about that. Thank you.
Louise?
I had my hand up for the same reason as Bill has said, and that is that the chicken coop being so close to the resource area is a problem. It's a great source of nitrogen. And but I wouldn't move the compost system down there. I'd leave it where it is and get the chicken coop out of there.
Maybe put the chicken coop outside the 100 just next to the compost area.
What? Yeah.
I would get the compost away from where the chicken coop is now. I wouldn't switch them. I would just leave the compost where it is and get the chicken coop out of there.
And I support Louise in that.
Okay. Any other question from the commissioner? None? Sean, what do you think?
Could I, there's no rush to get this done. We just wanted to get a revised plan in front of you. So if I could ask for a continuance to the next hearing to discuss it with the applicant?
Okay. If you are preparing a revised plan, give us the dimension on the chicken coop and the shed and the compost box. So
Absolutely. We'll put that on the plan and we'll also add the bee boxes.
okay. So you want to table this into this January 1?
January 1 is fine.
I mean January 14 afternoon hearing?
That's fine as well. That's fine as well. They're not going to be putting it in until the spring, so we have some time to work through these details.
Okay.
Did you say January 14th, Tom? Is that?
No, yeah, January 14th.
Okay, thank you.
And this is tabled. We don't have to take a motion for continuance. It's a tabled item, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman.
Right, I just tabled it into January 14th.
Very good.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Bill.
The next item is the Dockside Realty Trust, SE3-5742. The address is 0 Sioux Street, Hyannis. This is a substitute of the steel sheeting rather than the vinyl sheeting. Who is here?
It's Wayne Kirker from the Dockside Marina.
Hi, Wayne.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, so the purpose of doing this is the long run of bulkhead, which we didn't ask to change, seems healthy. The northern one is becoming porous, and the southern one is what gets hit by the waves and the wave wash from the ferries and that sort of thing. And we're concerned that there could be a blowout in that area. So it was recommended that I did that in steel instead of vinyl, and that way the steel would be supporting. There would be no tiebacks, so I wouldn't be cutting up the ground and doing all that. The wall will be cantilevered steel like I've done over here at Hyannis Marina time and time again. And so that the purpose is to prevent a failure, which undoubtedly happened when at a bad time.
Right. Any question from the commissioner? Seeing none, could I have a motion to approve the revised plan as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Tangney, aye. Lee,
Aye.
Hearn,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Abadili.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
We have one enforcement order, Sunset Link Revocable Trust, 111 Sunset Link, Barnstable, map 301, parcel 030. Failure to request a certificate of compliance for SE3-5625. Darcy?
Thank you, Tom. I'm presenting this for Ed. Let's see, the background was, let me just bring the screen up. The original project description was including installation of planting, beach grass, maintenance of dune along the seaward edge of the lawn. Let's see. This was the plan of record. The work is in this location here. This is September 9th, I believe, 2024, near map. It appears that they did some of the project in this location. The original order of conditions issued on December 4th, 2018. It expired December 4th, 2021, and with COVID tolling, it that bumped it to actually March 13th, 2023. So it's an expired order. Ed sent out an enforcement letter stating to come to the December 3rd hearing. And you and or your agent should attend the Barnstable Conservation Commission meeting held at 3 p.m. on December 3rd. The meeting will be held virtually. Have your project manager perform a final inspection for compliance with the order of conditions and the plan of record, and submit the request for certificate of compliance for SE 35625 to the Barnstable Conservation Commission by January 31st, 2025. And Ed sent it out certified mail to the address that we have in Assessor's database, which we go by, to Sunset Lane, Irrevocable Trust, P.O. Box 615, Barnstable, Mass. And it was returned to sender, non-deliverable, unable to forward, and it just came in yesterday. So when Ed gets back, we can try to see whether there's another way we can get this sent out, but I don't believe there is anybody here.
Right.
Maybe they are to represent, but I don't believe they are.
Yeah. So you have the enforcement as written, right?
Yes, and then you just want to mention there was a public comment that came in from Anthony Desaneski. The concerns are that this is believes that the order should be revoked, which it's expired anyways. So we have done what we need to do, issued the the enforcement order. So right. Yes, I'm asking you would approve this as written.
Okay. John?
Just a comment, having read that submission relative to the land and the ownership, and the fact that it was in court, et cetera, really does not in any way, in my opinion, affect the decision the commission needs to make now relative to issuing the enforcement order as written.
Right. Right. Any other question from the commissioner? Could I have a motion to approve the enforcement order as written?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Tangney, aye. Lee,
Aye.
Hearn,
Aye.
Abadili,
Aye.
and Foster.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one RDA, Polly Barons, Proposal Vista Proning at 1730 Main Street, Contiguous as shown on the Assessors Map 016, Parcel 004. Steve.
Hi, Steve LeBranch from Wilkinson Ecological. I did receive an email from Darcy right before this about the plan that I sent. There was an area. Can you see that?
Well, your office has sent out a revised plan showing the SE3 number.
Right. So there was an area on the plan that we sent that said invasive removal. That's been completed for years. So
right.
that was the Phragmites removal. What we're asking for here is just the ability to maintain the view that they've had by removing a few sapling trees and pruning up the trees that are there. The other trees are very healthy on the site.
Can you share the plan with us?
Yeah.
I can bring it up too if you have. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
You got it? Okay.
I mean, no,
Yeah, so,
you're finally coming up on the screen, so I'm going to let you control it.
okay. So can you see this little area right here?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was the Phragmites that we've been working on for that along with a couple other projects on that pond. We've pretty much almost eradicated the Phragmites there, but it's just to the left of that a little bit where would like the ability to prune up some limbs on the pine trees and remove some saplings just to maintain their view. They do have a good canopy. There's plenty of trees there. The pines are pretty big and they provide a good canopy for the meadow that's towards the street. And I think that's pretty much it.
So this is a standard vista pruning request.
Right.
Okay. John?
Yeah, that was question one. Thank you, Tom. Question two is, Darcy, do you need something showing a vista corridor on the plan for the record? Do you need that or not? It's up to you, Darcy.
Sorry, I was trying to get unmuted and I was on the wrong control. For this one, this is fine, being that it's across the street and everything, so we can work with what's here.
Super. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other question from the commissioner? 10:18, any public comment on this?
Seeing none.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to approve this project as a negative determination?
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Foster,
Aye.
Hearn,
Aye.
Abadili,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
and Tangney. Aye, that's unanimous.
Our next hearing is at 6:30.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Our next hearing is on 6:30 on December the 10th. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Tangney. Aye. Lee,
Aye.
Hearn,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Abadili,
Definitely aye.
that's everybody. 3:47.